Crenshaw. Hey man, you know there's nothing wrong with a late night battle. I always stay prepared, got my paddle in my backpack. Challenges beware with the P-I-N-G. Volley for the serve, hit it nice and easy. See, we got these regulations for a tournament. O-R-P-P-R-B, check the document. I'll officiate your event, keep it on the level. Inspect the surfaces, arguments are settled. Scrutinize the nets, keep them taut and snappy. Rock the color commentary, keep the people happy is on. The day starts just before dawn. Robots on the front lawn, giving seminars on the finer arts. Like brutal backhand hits, people lining up, earning new certificates. Check the merchandise, man, Grimmy thought of everything. Sweatbands up the grand champion rings. It means that nobody leaves empty-handed. Every last ball on the court, so our PPRB branded. Demand from my sponsors is big and getting better. See me at the match in my ping pong sweater. In the locker room, lifting weights to get strong. Sipping Perrier, playing ping pong. Ping pong, step up to the table. Ping pong, put the ball in play. Ping pong, I don't care what you call it. Step up to the table, put the ball in play. Ping pong, step up to the table. Ping pong, put the ball in play. Ping pong, not once have I fallen. Step up to the table, put the ball in play. Yo, they challenge me to a sanctioned event and went quick with the skunk. Yeah, love 06, top spin smashes. Stop them dead in the track. You see the way I relax is winning ping pong matches. See, victories are coming in batches when I practice. It's back in again. Forehand, no return. Practice sideways spin. The skin on my paddle's kinda floppy, but it don't stop me. I'll win in any condition while you're wishing that you can scout out my style and try to copy. I'm in Japan, learning secret paddle positions. I'm on a steady diet. I eat with my fingers, consult the master for advice. You can excel, grasshopper, if you're willing to pay the price. Keep your eyes on the ball, feel the pedal like a friend. You don't have to have telekinesis, but pretend like you do. Then guide the sphere around the court. Enter into the slow motion so that time and space distort. Make report with the paddle, pick pock, how it go. Pop lock as you wield it, feel the ball flow against the counter currents of the motion you make. You might mistake it for a simple game of angles, but it ain't. Now taint the universe with the flavor of your game. Tilt reality around the ball to shape the lane of its travel, but do not let it unravel. Fake, don't return a volley if it's already too late. It's unfair to your opponent how you move through air, how you throw away your racket in your back pocket, got a spare, how you dared him to serve before you got in the room, how he tried but the net cradled each as a womb. Now assuming that you got all my lessons ignored, see me at the Comfort Inn at the World Tour. It's 4 a.m. I'm eating continental breakfast. The competition don't expect this. A new serve from Mr. Cyberman, an ace is unexpected. I'm happy as long as my ladder post is protected. Our gear's not the tightest, it's all that we found. That table might wobble, but it don't fall down. I'm in the locker room, lifting weights, getting strong. Sipping Perrier, playing ping pong. Ping pong, step up to the table. Ping pong, put the ball in play. Ping pong, I don't care what you call it. Step up to the table, put the ball in play. Ping pong, step up to the table. Ping pong, put the ball in play. Ping pong, not once have I fallen. Step up to the table, put the ball in play. Every ball is branded, serve it left-handed. O-R-P-P-R-B, see the label and demand it. It can get kinda crazy, you understand it. It don't phase me, it's just the way that we planned it. Every ball is branded.
Unmute that so that people can hear us and realize that.
Okay, wait.
Alright, hold on.
You got a thing.
Cody found the Mr. Sword, so we got that going.
Yeah, check me out being all Twitch savvy. I posted in chat just to see my little icon guy. I was like, Ben, I have a little... Is it a sword? What is it?
The shield.
Shield.
Yeah.
I was like, I got a little shield.
Okay, and we're here. We did it. Once again, against all odds, I made the wires work. I think. People are talking like they can.
Yep.
We're on the interweb.
We are.
Success.
And Zodiac Eclipse is the person who... Oh, God, my stupid... Oh, God. Every time with these mic stands, look at this.
You gotta tighten it, Ben.
I do.
Tighten it up.
I do. Hold
Tighten your
on.
game.
Be right back. Get a screwdriver on this.
What?
Oh, no.
He's getting serious.
And there it goes.
Did it do... It's floppy.
Well,
It happens sometimes. Sometimes you'll have that.
I'm sorry. You're very attractive. I'm just nervous. There we go. There we go. See, when it starts going limp, you just got to give it a little screw.
That's all. Hey, there you go, everybody.
That's why these people tune in.
Hey.
But yes, Zodiac Eclipse is Joanna. She's the one who made the
Oh,
animations.
hey,
Yeah.
Joanna. Hey.
So that's why she's the one who knows you on site, because I sent her
Oh, right
a
on.
picture of you so that she could model your character model in that thing.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That was great. Super awesome. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. That was awesome.
Yeah, but hi everybody. It's time for Bentime Stories, our weekly talk show podcast thing where it's a show about nothing. Nobody's ever done one of those before, right?
Never.
Never.
No.
Okay, so we're good.
We're the first.
But we're here. You all already know myself, Amanda, AJK.
That is me.
And we've got, in our third chair, we've got Kenny Wendorski of Batrankings.
Hey, hey, hey. Hi, man.
Kenny.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Yeah.
Taking it all in.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Seeing the sights.
It's yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Got, I got, so we had a guest last week, and she got the kitchen chair because I only had two
She
chairs
did.
in here.
Okay.
And I realized, okay, this is 2 weeks in a row that we've had a third chair. I should get an actual literal third chair. So you get the good chair.
Hey, thank you very much. You know I work at a furniture store, right?
That's true. I suppose I'd say being 20. So yeah, you're in town for work stuff, and you agreed
Yeah.
to swing by afterwards.
We had a big, it was all stores in Lazy Boy are closed as of today, just for a big meeting. We were at a hotel, your usual, sales are this, we need to be here, that kind of stuff. And so we're all in our business suits. So that's why I'm all dressed up. Don't normally look like this.
Yeah, don't expect it
Yeah.
next time, okay?
Usually for Bat Rankings, it's a shorts and a t-shirt.
Yep.
That's so. This I do feel like a fish out of water right now.
Well, I was in my grown-up clothes today too. I'm sorry I changed out.
How dare you?
How dare I? I feel like people ask me that a lot.
So yeah.
So yeah, what are we talking about this week? I don't even know. I mean, so Bat Rankings is our podcast where
Yeah.
what are we on right now?
We're gonna do
about
Clayface.
Yeah, Clayface is next. So I've been editing See No Evil, which is coming out this Friday.
Right.
I'm looking forward. We had a good conversation about that one.
That shockingly, now it is a good episode, but I mean, God, that must have been an hour or so that we went.
Yeah, we
'Cause-
went almost an hour, which is longer than we've gone on any
Yeah.
non-two-part episode.
And usually we bang out 2 episodes in a row, but that one went so long, we were like, we don't have enough time to do a second. So,
Yeah, I think you had to get your kids to a doctor's appointment or something like
or
that.
you had a doctor appointment, and
Yeah.
we needed to get lunch because you can only eat at certain hours of the day.
That's right. Yeah, so yeah, last week was Cat in the Claw. That's the latest one that just came out.
Yeah.
Which wound up at, I think, number 2 after
Yep. Yeah.
after Two-Face.
Yeah.
How lost are you right now?
I'm taking it all in.
So
I have questions.
Okay, shoot. Hit us with a question.
Bat ranking.
Yes.
You rank Batman things.
Yes. Specifically episodes of Batman the Animated Series, which
Yeah.
is the weekday afternoon animated version of Batman that aired in the 90s.
In the 90s.
It came out
92.
immediately after Batman Returns,
Right.
so heavily influenced by the 2 Tim Burton movies.
Okay.
If any of that means anything to
Okay, I'm going to be super
Okay.
honest. The last Batman I saw, I think it was a Michael Keaton situation.
you. Okay, yeah,
So
those
that's-
would have been
That
The-
time. That's
Okay,
a
so I'm
time. Yeah.
at least in the right era.
yes.
Okay. Okay. This feels
Yeah.
good. Okay. And you rank them.
So we're watching the episodes in order, and at the end of every episode, we place it in our ongoing ranked list of every episode that we've watched so far.
Oh, nice.
And the way we do this is we use a random number generator. So right now our list is
15?
Yeah. As of the last episode to come out, it'll be 14. This next
14.
one will make 15.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will, watch. So we'll watch episode 16, and then we'll use a random number generator to choose a number 1 to 15, and then compare them.
Yeah.
I see.
So is this better or worse than this other episode?
And then that's where it falls.
Well, and then that narrows it down, but then
Right.
we still have a range. So like, say it chooses 7, and we decide it's better. Well, we know that it's better than 7 through 15, but then we choose again 1 through 6. Okay, now it chose number 3. Is this better or worse than what's in number 3? And we keep narrowing it down until we know exactly scientifically where it sits in the
It's
list.
very official.
Using unimpeachable science.
Very
Yes.
science.
Lab coats, glasses, beakers.
Yes.
I mean, there are
Nice.
measurements. One of our favorite segments is Anthony.
Yes.
There is a side hired goon, Mook. You say
Yeah.
Mook, and I say
I say
hired
Mook
goon.
a lot,
You
yeah.
do, but it's funny because it's his henchman.
Yeah.
And there was a character named Anthony from a Scarecrow episode.
He's one of the few, because there's so many of these in the show, just, hired guns of whoever the villain of the week is.
Right.
But this one got a name, and so we immediately said, oh, he's one to watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we looked at it, sure enough, he's got a little more heart, a little more personality than your average
Right.
henchman.
He wanted to know the understandings of Scarecrow. He's like, boss, why are you the way you are? And Scarecrow's like, I'll tell you the whole story. So we were like, wow, this henchman, I think we got something with this guy.
Yeah, and he doesn't die at the end of the episode, so we're always keeping a lookout. Is
Nice.
Anthony going to show up again?
He fell on
He fell on an awning.
Awning, that's
Yes.
right. So
My.
he didn't die. Nobody really dies, though. on the
Yeah,
show,
it's
so.
it's like G.I. Joe. The plane blows up, but
parachute.
you always see the parachute coming out.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, that's one of our favorite things. Ben has the Milla Anthonys.
yes.
How many Milla Anthonys is this hired goon?
So Anthony is worth 1,000 Milla Anthonys.
Really got to break it down for me.
Clearly.
What the hell are you talking about?
So, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That just kind of became, after 3 episodes in, we're like, I like this Anthony
Yeah,
thing.
that's fun. No, it's super fun.
Show.
So,
This sounds interesting. Okay, and what is the genesis of your interest? Just Batman from childhood.
that's all. Well, we both love.
Yeah.
That's my favorite cartoon. I
Yeah.
think it's yours too, right?
I would have a hard time. I mean, we would have to have a whole scientific breakdown and possibly a knife fight for me to decide.
Knife fight.
Knife fight!
Uh,
But when I was in Dallas with Team 4-Star, a viewer and a fan, a very generous fan, thank you, a mayor, sent to the P.O. box. They had just released all of the episodes on Blu-ray, and he sent it as a gift.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is a perfect excuse for me to sit down and watch every episode.
Guy on the far left. Who's left?
I think that's me.
Yeah. It's on the preview, you can see he's on our right, but they're left.
Okay.
The male, I have not watched Daddy
I don't know
Daycare.
Daddy Daycare either.
So I'm going to assume that's a compliment.
I'll take it.
last
take
week or
it.
the week before, you got called feminine and I got called masculine. So
Did they call you masculine?
I
didn't remember
he
that.
said you guys are really liberal
We
because
seem,
he looks feminine and you look and I was like, all right.
we do get some
fine.
for whatever reason. It's this stream that the trolls come out.
Male
But
guy from
yeah,
Daddy
you
Daycare.
got that DVD collection, Blu-ray
Yeah.
collection from what was the name? Amer?
Amer, yeah,
And,
Romani.
and you were like, I want to do something with this because I'm going to watch them all.
Yeah, I want an excuse to watch them all, but if
Right.
I can justify the time that I'm spending,
Right.
Also much more time because then we get to talk about them and record them, and then I edit the episodes.
Yep.
And Kenny was, I mean, everything kind of lined up because I was moving back here.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for some kind of project to do with Kenny for years because
Yep.
we went to high school together. We
have similar interests. You didn't do media arts, but I mean, you've always been involved with media or some sort of entertainment. So
yeah.
we met up for breakfast, and
I gave him the elevator pitch, and he kindly waited for me to finish my sentence before saying, "Yeah, let's do it."
they have a breakfast cheeseburger at IHOP, and I was just like, "Yes, that sounds great." Tabasco, please. But yeah, so
Fantastic.
one and done, and I think we did it. We were up here at the
Yeah.
Drury Inn. I had another Lazy Boy meeting, which is why I'm in the monkey suit.
Yeah.
And
I was up here looking for apartments. This
That's
was
right.
before I got this place. And so we went to Kenny's hotel room, and I brought my little portable recorder with my little actually these very microphones.
oh yeah.
And just watched the first episode on my laptop in the hotel room and recorded our first episode of the podcast.
I was so nervous.
Awesome.
Because I didn't know how thin the walls were, and I wasn't quite sure what the rules were about having guests over. Because we were eating on the company dime. We were
Yep.
eating the complimentary food. I'm sure they don't care, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I didn't know the rules.
And I was kind of waiting for somebody to say, "Hey, you don't work here, you got to pay." And at which point I would have said, "Well, of course I will pay."
And I was fully prepared to
Yeah.
be like,
Like, not a big deal. But
exactly, but no. So I'm so nervous. Like the first episode, I'm like, hi. But as we progressed, I think it's gone. I don't know, pretty good. I don't know. I have a good time.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's fun.
Well, this seems like a self-limiting series, though, because you only have so many episodes.
we have there's 100 or so.
Okay.
Because there's the 3 volumes plus they kind of
yeah,
reimagined it.
Yeah, this was in a different era of television. Nowadays, if you are lucky, you get 13 episodes to
Yeah.
prove yourself.
Right.
At the time, they were like, these Michael Keaton movies just came out. Batman is everywhere. We want, and also syndication was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, what even is that? Who freaking
Right.
cares?
It's
Yeah,
not
just
a
stream
thing.
it.
Yeah, but so they ordered sight unseen 65 episodes in the first season. Also, I see the account Wisky TV on there. I think that's your wife, Kenny.
Hey, honey. Hi, sugar.
Is she also your candy girl?
She's,
Da, 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 da.
she's my baby mama. Hi, honey. Thanks for
Steve
watching.
Zahn.
Hi, Mrs. Kenny.
So
Well,
yeah,
I have the whole collection of Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
If
So you could
you
do a
ever
bell
wanna do
ranking.
that,
there
I
you go.
could.
You could.
Except the whole YouTube Zach Morris's trash thing beat
That's
me to
true.
it.
Which is pretty
I
funny.
mean, yeah,
That was pretty
nailed
funny.
it.
Yeah.
You can't do better than that.
Have
you seen it?
I have not seen. I've heard of it. I've heard it's real good.
It's on Amazon Prime. Well, it's on the internet.
It's really
but
good.
It's just
Google
little
it.
itty bitty.
Little like 3-minute summations
Yeah.
of every episode and why Zach Morris is like a garbage human.
Which he kind of
Which he is.
He is like every
Undoubtedly.
episode. He like exploits women. He
Right.
treats his best friend like shit. He's
Right.
like
yeah, that's.
So
I mean,
bad.
we don't quite go to that extreme, but there have been a couple of episodes like, yeah, people who listen to Bat Rankings tune in on Friday because See No Evil had me questioning, like, is this okay? Is Batman doing right here?
right.
I'm not, not to spoil it too hard, but, you know, they try to give the villains sympathetic motivations, and sometimes they go so far as to make me say, is this guy really a bad person?
Like the Man Bat.
Yeah. Yeah, all he
just-
had...
He just wanted to genetically change himself.
Yeah, the first episode we saw involves a character named Man-Bat who's like an island of Dr. Moreau, like Jekyll and Hyde. He mixed up the wrong chemicals and turned himself into a bat-human hybrid.
Yeah.
And his whole plot was just steal more chemicals so that he can continue being a bat-human hybrid.
Yeah.
But he didn't have any grander scheme to, like, change all of humanity into bats or to do
Right.
anything. He just
be a
wanted to
bat.
continue being a bat. And we had to ask the question, is this so wrong? If he, as
Right.
a consenting adult, decides that that's his life choice,
Right.
who is Batman to stand in his way?
So,
I love
yeah.
the nuance. That's fantastic.
Luke Brennan, asking what every host of a thing that he's plugging on the internet wants to hear. Where can we watch Bat Rankings? You can listen to it on anchor.fm/Bat Rankings, all one word, just like you spelled it right there. Yeah, it's an audio-only podcast.
We're on pretty much everything now, right?
Yeah, so Anchor.fm is kind of like the hub where
Yeah.
you can find a link to every different podcast service. Yeah, there we go. Nightbot's got the
Nice.
link there. But it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts. Yeah.
Well,
like
I,
a
for
dozen
one,
other-
I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
I'm
and
excited.
And we're running. I think we were at 18 the last I checked. We're running a like promotional thing right now.
Oh, yes.
Because on Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
5-star reviews are like the currency. They're like, likes on YouTube or Facebook or thumbs ups or whatever. And we are at a perfect. All of our reviews are 5 stars. Perfect 100%. Yeah.
Tempting
fate.
fate.
Fingers crossed.
You got your trolls in there. They're going to take care of that for you.
But we've got 18 5-star reviews, and we've pledged on one episode. It was currently sitting at the bottom of our rankings, the worst episode we've watched so far. And there's an obscure 90s cartoon, lasted only 13 episodes, starring MC Hammer called Hammerman.
That sounds amazing.
It is, at least I watched it as a kid, and even as a kid, I got like 5 minutes into one episode and said, do these people think I'm stupid? Why would anybody enjoy what I'm watching?
It's a real thing, though. It existed.
Yeah, it existed.
I love that.
It was on ABC on Saturday mornings.
Cornet Chris knows Hammerman.
It's a real thing. It exists.
Yeah, and I idly said, I'd rather watch an episode of Hammerman than watch this episode of Batman. And I later realized when I was editing the episode, that's a hypothesis. And we're all about science here. We need to test this hypothesis. So if we get up to 21 5-star reviews, we're going to do a bonus episode in which we watch and rank an episode of Hammerman in our ranked list to see if it ranks above the worst episode of Batman out of the 15 that we've watched so far.
I can't stop smiling. Like, just thinking about it makes me giddy. Like, just the thought of it. Yeah, he sent me a text. I was at work.
Yeah.
Yep. I needed to make sure I had Kenny's buy-in. I didn't want to make a promise for both of us.
And I was kind of busy, but I saw it and I was like, excuse me real quick. And dude, genius. Yes, I'm in. So send. So yeah. But we're getting there. 18?
18, yeah.
18.
Only 3 more. If we can get 3 more
I
by
wanna
the end
do
of
it.
this stream, then that might be the next thing we do after we shut down the stream is watch some Hammerman and record that.
I love it.
Bits for them.
'Cause-
Fingers crossed.
yeah. Zane Kiryu, thank you for the bits. So yeah, that is the very long elevator pitch. I think we were just on the longest elevator ride for what
Yep.
Bat Rankings is.
We reached the top.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just looking at Ben's dog. Ben's dog had surgery. I don't know if you mentioned
I've
that.
talked-
So I was
yeah.
just making sure she's doing okay. She looks good.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Got the cone off, so.
Yeah, that's right. She still had the cone the last time
Yeah.
you were here, I think.
I have not seen you in 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's been about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Work, and then I went up to Disneyland.
Yes.
Folks, I got to try out the new Star Wars area of Disneyland. It's great. It's really not everything is open yet, but from what I got to walk through, it's awesome, dude. It's
Nice.
really cool.
Wow.
So they've got, if you like Star Wars at all, you're pretty much walking into that environment. It's got the stormtroopers walking around. Chewbacca tickled my kid's feet. Scared my little girl.
Yeah.
It was really cool. They got these, it's a sausage and a pita bread, and they put shaved pork loin on top with coleslaw. I know this sounds probably, what?
That sounds like a lot.
It's good. So good. So yeah, it's
I mean, that's probably keto.
Minus the pita.
it's
Yeah.
fat guy friendly. So. But yeah, it's good. It's a great, that was the main reason we wanted to see the Star Wars thing.
Awesome.
Kind of humid, but hey, you're on vacation. It's
Yeah.
So yeah, Star Wars
Totally.
was cool.
Very nice.
But then we missed that, and then I missed another weekend there. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, I
doing
forget
this.
what last week held us up, but yeah, whatever. We're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we kind of record a few ahead. 'Cause
Yeah,
we
we're
figure
we've been eating through our backlog a little bit, but not like
right.
if we typically, except when we have to miss a week or two, we typically record 2 episodes in a session every week and then only release once a week, so we're constantly building a backlog for when we need
And
to.
just in case.
Yeah.
But which came in handy for this past month. So.
Yeah, stuff happens.
But it's
Yeah.
therapeutic. Like when I don't get to do these with you,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like, oh God damn it, I missed a day, or
Yeah.
we're gonna have to wait a whole week again, and because work, and it's just so when we do get to do it, I get to hang out with Ben. Known him since '96.
Yeah,
So,
I think
yeah.
we figured that out. We did the mental
Freshman
math.
year.
Freshman year
I
in
was gonna say
high
you guys
school.
are like 14.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
something like that.
It was a history class, and we also had PE.
Yep.
We might have had another one in there, but I only remember those two.
Yeah, and then we were in drama club
Drama.
together, and we had a drama class together.
Sophomore year.
And then you kept going with that,
And
and
you
I
bounced
peaced out.
out.
Yeah, I got real mad at the teacher over some dumb bullshit.
Oh, dude, my mom ran into her.
Oh yeah, Miss was it
Allred, and then
Yep.
she got married, so it was Allred-Seidel. Yeah, she was, I don't know.
Okay, now I'm curious. We keep on looking for things to disagree about. Where do you sit on hyphenation in names?
I think it's garbage.
Damn it, we can't disagree on that. We're
think it's
worried.
Utterly ridiculous.
We're worried that this becomes too much of an echo chamber
It
because we
does.
tend to agree on
There's
things.
a little bit of a
okay.
mind melt situation.
I don't mind it. It's
We
never been.
actively look for things to disagree with. Hasn't
But
happened yet.
she, my mom ran into her, and she was talking about that she used to teach drama at CDO. And my mom was like, "Did you know a Kenny Winder?" "Oh yes, I know. I remember him." And it was just one of those things like, "Mom, I don't remember liking her."
Well, don't worry. My dad was a school teacher for a number of years, and if he's anything to go by, she was just being polite and doesn't remember
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Well, she was kind of a raging alcoholic. So remember her water bottle?
Yeah.
Isn't that stuff so funny in retrospect? Like,
That-
I can think of which of my teachers were sleeping together,
Yeah,
and which
yeah.
ones were like cheating on their spouses with each other, and
That
get
water
drunk at
bottle
lunch.
smelt like gin. So
Yeah,
pretty sure that was not Perrier.
bad.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I still have the letter of recommendation that he wrote for me for college in a shoebox, like the original copy.
Your dad?
A science teacher that I had in high school.
Oh,
he was one of the good ones.
The
Mr.
astronomy
Saab.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to take him.
Yeah, he was. He was one of those guys that actually inspired me to be like. I make lots of jokes about science, like, yeah, we're doing science here,
Yeah.
but I actually do have. It's one of the reasons why I consistently say about the ice bath thing, like, look, I cannot personally vouch for the science,
Right.
because I don't want to denigrate. Like, there are people out there who have the scientific credentials to make statements about the benefits, and
Yes.
I feel it would be disrespectful for me with little to no science background who hasn't looked into the research to say, oh yeah, it totally does all these things, and like,
Sure.
yeah.
But anecdotal evidence is still.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's, and my understanding is with the ice bath, it is so hard to get anything like a representative sample and
Right.
an actual good scientifically rigorous study done.
It really is. I've been doing lit review on like a lot of the
Yeah, that's
studies.
right, you have.
And holy cow.
Yeah, so Kenny knows like zilcho about the ice bath thing. You gonna get in the ice bath later?
Probably not. Thank you for the offer. It's very nice of you, but no. After this,
you drive back.
I maybe someday. Not today.
That's a
not
good
today.
attitude. Maybe someday. That's not a no.
But yeah, so my science teacher, he was vastly overqualified for his position and
Yeah.
knew it, and the administration knew it.
Yeah.
And so he would do stuff like they had, they do the in-school announcements, which were supposed to last the allotted 10 minutes and always went at least 20 to 30 and cut into his class time. And they were super loud and could not be turned off or turned down because the loudspeaker they came from was the same one used for emergency announcements, so it had no off switch or volume control. What it did have was a large exposed wire that was vulnerable to hedge clippers. And so he just one day like, nope,
Saw a problem and fixed it.
I've got science to teach y'all. Yeah. I'm going to cut this Gordian knot near literally.
Yeah.
And we sort of asked him, like, is this going to be okay? And he says, if they have a problem with it, we can have a conversation about how they're cutting into my class time.
That's right.
Was this the same class with Matt Young?
I think so. Either that
Okay.
or physics. We had him for both.
I feel like I could sit and listen to Kenny and Ben reminiscing about high school for the next I want some more stories.
Well, Ben was always more advanced than me. He had the advanced math.
Academically?
Yeah, advanced math. He had advanced science and advanced writing. So it stunk because we really only had a few classes at the very beginning of high school. And then after that, it was kind of just hang out at lunch. So,
Gotcha.
so nice going, genius. Could have hung out with me and the rest of the dunces, but no, you had to get Mr. 4.0. This guy over here, am I right?
Yeah, well, that was my high school GPA. Don't ask me about my college one.
That's when I rose flip flop. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I better actually get a degree.
Do you guys know that like nerds aren't a thing now?
Yeah, where was that
Yeah,
back in
yeah, we
'96?
We were saying a week or two ago, like, we're like the last generation that got
No.
picked on for being nerds. And as
Yeah.
soon as we were out
Yeah.
the door, everybody looked around and said, okay, we gave those
Yeah.
assholes
Yeah.
the business. Are we cool to admit that comics are just cool now?
Dude, I used to hide my comics, remember, in the
Right.
back of the folder
So
so that
Yeah.
nobody would pick on, like, me and Derek Shalene. We'd always
Yeah.
hide our, like, Fathom comic books.
Yeah.
But now it's like
No,
everybody
now
has a T-shirt, backpack,
Yeah.
watch, wallets.
Right.
Yeah, Avengers are breaking billions of dollars at the box office.
Yeah, we missed it by about 10 years.
I got
Yeah.
picked
We were
on
born in
for
the
being-
90s. We've probably been all right.
Yeah, yeah,
But, you know, is what it is.
yeah.
Prearranged dystopia. I have a daughter who's 11, and she is not like a nerd, but she's definitely atypical. Like we call her neuroatypical, and she gets picked on too. So I get it. Kids still get picked on for sure.
See, I wasn't smart. I liked nerdy things, but so when kids would, like, copy off of me and be like,
Yeah,
dude, you sure about that, bro? Because that's not going to get you far.
Natural
You want to copy off that girl over there to the far left. So, but yeah, I always was, you know, we'd have lunch together. And
Yeah.
we'd have, it was comic books. You guys would do stuff on the internet that I didn't know how to do. They were
Yeah.
making websites before that was like
That's really cool.
a paying
Oh,
job.
yeah,
I think the first time I saw a website was like 1997.
I mean, I don't think GeoCities counts, but
Well,
No, I think it
was
does.
advanced at the, you know, I don't know how to do that. You guys were always doing that.
Hold on, Master Blaster guy. Is it who is this well dressed? This is Kenny. This is Kenny.
yeah, this is
Kenny's
my
with
Batrankings
Batrankings.
Oh.
co-host.
Hi there. So
My daughter has ASD too.
I'm sorry. Now I don't know what that is. ASD.
Autism spectrum disorder.
Okay. Okay.
She's going to art school this year. She's been in like she's been in gen ed, but like pullouts for like social skills and
Okay.
some academic remedial stuff. But this year she's going to a charter school that's for like graphic and fine and performing arts.
Okay.
And they're so inclusive. And I talked to the special ed director there, and he's like, this is like the kid. These are all like art nerd kids who like they've all been the like weirdo. So she's gonna fit right in, and they're gonna be accepting. And I'm really hopeful that it's
cool.
gonna go well. So anyway, I was sort of addressing prearranged dystopia there. That I have like my fingers crossed that she's gonna find her people this year, and they'll all just be like a bunch of weirdos, just like her. Well, not just like her, but they'll all have their own.
Their own special
Yeah.
weirdness. Yeah,
Exactly.
I was just telling Brandy that I've only met her a couple of times. The
Yeah.
dinner party over at your house, and then
Yeah.
the barbecue that I had over here.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't known that
Yep.
she was spectrum, I would have thought like maybe slightly introverted. But when
Yeah.
I was a kid, I didn't want to make nice with my parents' friends either. But my understanding is that the fact that she comes off that way now is the end result of a lot of working on social skills.
She was in like 50 hours. She didn't talk till she was almost 5, and she was in 50 hours of therapy from the time she was 6 months old till she entered school, 5 or 6. And then school took over, and she had a lot of therapy in school. So yes, the fact that you can't tell is a testament to like all the early intervention and stuff, and that she still has 3 hours of therapy a week outside of school, and therapy in school. And so anyway, yeah. Fingers crossed that she won't have that hard of a time. But, we all have our stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, what else is going on? I've been supposedly working on this dumb stand-up thing.
I can't wait. What do you call it a dumb stand-up thing for?
I mean, the thing is fine. The thing that we're going to, I've been so blocked on this thing. I
Why?
feel like I'm the straight man and I don't get the joke.
Wait. So you're doing stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
I'm going to an open
Hey!
mic night thing.
It's Sunday, right?
Yeah, this coming Sunday.
Oh.
And I've been supposed to have been working on my set because we went to a thing weeks, a month and a half back now.
Yeah.
And
Just like a stupid little
Yeah.
local open mic night.
yeah, I just kind of
Something
stood
at a
up
bar.
and winged it, and that seemed about par for the course. And Adrian, who was here last week, has announced her intention. I'm just gonna kind of go
She's
up there
gonna
and
wing it.
Like,
And she didn't even go up last time. This will literally be her. And this place,
Yeah.
this is like a bigger venue.
yeah,
than the last one.
They sent like a round of emails around, like really trying to impress. Like, hey, don't just stand up and wing it. Have something prepared. Have people like try and promote it, which I have on Twitter, and yeah. But so I don't know. I'm going up to Flagstaff with Brandy tomorrow, and I'm gonna have this in the back of my mind the whole time. I should be working on my set.
Well, practice with Brandy.
Yeah, I will. I should.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote the piece, the medium piece, which is like the non-funny version of the same story, which I sent to you.
Yeah.
And I did a live reading for
Almost dying.
yeah, about almost dying.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, but
Are you gonna tell it like? Are you gonna like say, "Well, I had some time to think the other day"? As I was,
I don't know. I feel like
you decided.
I've got like parts of it, and I haven't quite figured out how to string them together. Like, I like that idea of the reversal. Like, I had some time to, because I haven't had a car for a while. This is what trips me up. I don't like embellishing.
Right.
Like, I think the story itself is fine. Except it's not, because everybody else is going to be embellishing, so it's like an arms race. You have to keep up.
Yeah.
If I just say what happened, and somebody else is saying, like, the crazy, wacky, exaggerated version of what happens, then mine seems understated.
Well,
maybe.
it's not
I
a
don't know.
have you ever game. Like, you can add to the story to make it funny. It's still true.
Yeah, and I do. Like, when I tell stories from my life, when I tell the story of the waterbed incident, I got taken to task on that by the other person involved, who I'm half inclined to just turn the waterbed incident into my set, because that's one that I've been workshopping without realizing it for years.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Have they heard it?
Some
haven't
of them
heard
might
it.
have.
All right, well, let's hear it again.
So, this was in college. This is a college story. A roommate of mine had this waterbed, and he was moving out, and he decided, this is the untrue version, because he called me on this story telling me, every time you tell this story, I become a little dumber and you become a little smarter. So I'm going to try to tell this the way it actually happened.
Oh, everybody's heard it, apparently. I'm the only one. What else is new? I'm the only one who doesn't know what's going on in here.
But, we're trying to empty out this waterbed so that we can remove it from the apartment. And he had misplaced the pump that lets you get the water out. Mm-hmm. And we tried to, attach a hose and run the hose out the window and, sit on it to push the water out. And it just wasn't...
Mm-hmm. It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. He tried to, siphon it like you would siphon gas, and that, no, that would take 3 days, and we would be violently ill by the end of this, because this is stagnant water that's been sitting on the inside of this bed for 3 years.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with plastic chemicals leaching in it, and probably mildew, who the hell knows. So rather than, responsible people sucking it up and going to Walmart and buying a pump that could do this for us, we think, well, this bed's going out on the curb for whoever wants it. He's not planning to take it with him. All we really need to do is get the mattress out of the apartment, and then we can just, worst comes to worst, take a knife to it, just slit it and let it gush out into the street.
That's what I was thinking. Roll the thing out there.
Yeah, just roll the thing out there. Should be easy, right?
Just flop it over.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking. But, it's in a frame.
Sure.
So we get some hammers and pry bars and pry out, because we, at first tried to lift it up out of the frame.
Oh, it's so heavy.
Nothing doing. Water's heavy as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So we, managed to pry off one of the, side slats, the wooden slats that keep the thing in, and move it out onto the floor. And then we realize, this whole rolling it out the door idea, that's not going to work either. If we had 5 or 6 strong guys and unlimited time to work, maybe. We have 2 not particularly strong guys, and we are now operating under a time crunch because in the course of getting it out onto the floor, it has snagged itself on a nail that had been holding that. It has sprung a leak.
Oh no!
And it's not leaking, like, fast. Just enough that we're thinking, we really need to get it the fuck out of here before it starts leaking faster.
Oh no.
So we're chugging, we're pulling, it is nothing doing. And again, the responsible thing now probably would have been one of us stay here with a bucket to watch the leak.
Yeah.
And, bail it out if it needs it and make sure it doesn't get on the floor. The other, just go get a pump.
Right.
Or maybe, conversely, go get, we're in college. We can summon 5 or 6 big, strong guys if we need to. Instead of doing either of these things...
Why don't you have, like, a Thundercat sword and 5 strong men? Oh!
I mean, basically, instead of doing either of these things, I remember Walter, who was my roommate, saying this and me agreeing. I could be remembering it more flattering, but how I remember it is he said, we are not strong enough to move this by ourselves. But my car is a lot stronger than I am, and I have a lot of rope.
That one did not occur to me. Is that what you did? Is that what you did, Ben?
So we tied one end of this rope to his bumper. The other end of this rope, we kind of like bunched up one end of the waterbed so that we could get the rope around it and tie it off. And I had just barely enough presence of mind to realize, this rope is running like it has to kind of go around a corner around this door frame. I'm going to take like a towel and wrap it around that section of the rope so that it's not rubbing directly against the door frame, because that might damage the door frame. That's,
What could go wrong?
Yeah, clearly I've thought of everything that could, the worst thing that could possibly go wrong.
Oh no.
And I'm the genius. This is where the definitive untruth tends to creep in. Because in previous versions of this story, I've told it such that I went off to class and heard about the rest of this later. No, tell the truth and shame the devil. I was in the car.
Okay.
He was in there watching the waterbed.
Progress.
And I step on the gas
Okay.
just very gently.
Okay.
And it's not moving. And I just slowly increase the gas, and it's not moving. And then all of a sudden, the rope pulls taut, and then all of a sudden the rope goes slack, and I lurch back. And a wall of water comes out the door, followed by my roommate saying, "Ben, get a broom!"
A broom? That's the wrong tool, too.
That is the tool that we had on hand. And so we grab up our push brooms and what we have on hand and just try to aid this water on the way outside the door and just get everything up off the floor.
Oh my god.
And this was hardwood floor.
Oh, I was going to say, is there carpet? Like, what's the flooring situation?
A hardwood floor situation.
Better than carpet.
Better than carpet. And it was, look, a mop is meant to absorb. This is far too much water to be absorbed. It needs to be directed.
Yeah.
It is a flow. It needs a dam.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to clean that up?
So, I mean, we, got the standing water out the door, aided by brooms, and this hardwood floor by the end of this is swelling and warping.
Yeah.
And he's moving out, and another roommate is moving in.
Yeah.
And he's not happy about this. And so some say he's still cleaning it to this day.
Oh, that apartment? Don't want to go down in that apartment.
Luke Brennan asked, "Did you get the deposit back?"
Right.
So I stayed in this apartment for, I want to say, 2 more years. And I went down to the office because the new roommate moving in, I couldn't afford, it's a 2-bedroom place, I couldn't afford both bedrooms by myself. So to get the new roommate to still move in, the agreement was, we will not put your name on the lease. You will pay your half of the rent to me so that you're not on any of the paperwork and you cannot be held responsible for this. And my outgoing roommate he agreed to stay on the lease so that when we signed off, whatever outstanding damage was still owed, he would be half responsible for. And also, we are going to go down and explain to the landlords exactly what happened so that we're not hiding anything from anybody. Everything's above board. And the landlords were so much more understanding than they had any reason to be.
Wow.
They were clearly used to dealing with idiot college kids.
Maybe it's not the first waterbed tied to a car story they've ever heard.
Maybe not, because
Yeah.
they sent, like a handyman type inspector guy out to take a look at it, and he said, look, I can assess the damages right now,
Yeah.
but you have signed on for another year.
Yeah.
It may very well have dried out and the swelling and warping gone down by then.
Yeah.
So what I would advise is if you're willing to live here for another year, just live here. I'll come back out in a year when you're ready to move out. And I think we wound up re-upping for another year, so it was 2.
Yeah.
And then when you want to leave, I will assess it then.
Yeah.
And then we will decide what the damages are. Like, okay, that sounds fine to me.
Sure.
Yeah, and so they did. By the time, and so this other roommate skipped out without paying his half of the last month's rent because he had to, I don't know, his girlfriend shot his dog or some dumb thing. I don't know.
Classic girlfriend shoots the dog situation.
Regardless, when he had something to lose, he insisted on everything being above board. Mm-hmm. When he had nothing to lose and everything to gain by just skipping out on the last month's rent, he just skipped town. But I was the last man standing on this lease. I got the entire deposit back on that place. Yeah, and you never get your entire deposit back.
Nope.
And trust me, the floor was, the biggest damage that we did to this apartment. It was not the only damage that we did to this apartment. We were college kids. There wasn't, as far as I could tell, there was no mold. Probably helped that this happened, it was the end of the school year, so this happened right before summer. We just...
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It was Flagstaff, so you didn't need air conditioning in the summer, so we just left the windows open and the fans going at all times so it could get the maximum amount of airflow and drying. And that's the waterbed incident.
Well played, Ben.
And you can see, I have been telling this story to one person or another since college. It is way more, fine-tuned than this, hey, I almost died in a car accident story.
I do. A couple people said they don't see why that's funny. Your car accident story.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that I see...
why it's funny either.
I mean, I see, the germ of the humor.
Yeah.
Which is that, the whole... The thing that's... I don't know if it's ha-ha funny, but it's absurd.
Have you heard this?
It is a car accident?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Him telling it in the
So, yeah.
humorous way.
Let me try to tell this story in something approaching a humorous way and
let's
see
do
how
it.
it goes. So the exaggeration comes in. I'm telling this story as if, I have since, folks at home know, that I have since got another car, but, pretend that I hadn't. So, I've been without a car for about 3 weeks, which was true at one point. And this is what fucks me up, the double think of the actuals. Okay, sorry, I'm going to try not to interrupt myself and go off on tangents.
Right.
I've been without a car for a couple of weeks, and boy, you're a real secondhand citizen in this city if you don't have a car. You might as well have a star on your shirt telling everybody to give you the business. I realized this. I had some time to think about this recently as I was sitting in my old car, or rather the smoking wreckage thereof, picking the grains of safety glass out of my clothes. And I had some time to think because the EMTs had told me to stay put. They were seeing to the actually injured parties. And so I'm just sitting here waiting for them to bring the jaws of life to pry open my door and let me out of my car. And I'm thinking, fuck, I'm going to have to get a new car. And I've never owned a new car. I've owned every car I've ever owned. I've owned outright. No car payment, no credit union that owns me. It might be a shitty car, and oh boy, it's been a shitty car. It's been a real shitty car. But it's been mine, all paid off. I can lose a job. I can lose a source of income, but by God, that shitty car is mine, and they can't take that away from me.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out they can take that away from me, and the way they do is by veering into my lane at 65 miles per hour on the I-60, and that'll take my car away from me real quick.
Sure.
So I go in, and I've passed by in Ubers, because that's the way you want to get across town. Passed by this stretch of highway where I got slammed into and spun all the way around and slammed a third caller into the sidewall. And buckle up, kids, wear your safety belts, because the guy who hit me wasn't. And he also he didn't have to wait for the jaws of life. He exited at speed head first through his windshield. And I looked at him and I thought, you lucky bastard, your insurance is going to take care of all this, and it's all taken, and none of this is on you. And you... Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is where, I don't know, but you're laughing.
It took a turn.
I am, but I think I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
It all started with your star on the...
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, God.
That's why I'm trying. So I've told this in a couple of different ways in the actual grounded, serious fashion. And this is me going to 11 on it and seeing how that works.
The star will get you every time.
Yeah.
Anytime.
But it made me laugh. Shit.
I don't know. This is, so I...
He did.
He did. Yes,
died.
the guy did die.
I noticed that's not part of your story.
Yeah, well, and I go and I sign a lease on a brand new car because I've been thinking, okay, I could have died today. What would that mean? Well, my family wouldn't like that much, but you know what? They can handle it. Not like easily, but they will eventually get over it. So, okay, for their sake, I'm not gonna like hasten the day. But also... So I just made some money recently. I sold my part of a business, and I'm moving on to bigger and better things. And boy, if I died today, I would get credit for all the best case scenario of what I might do from this point, without ever actually having to do the hard work of doing any of it. That sounds like a damn good deal. I'd be Jimi fucking Hendrix. Oh, he died too young. If only he'd lived. I can live with that. I mean, I wouldn't be living with that. You know what I mean.
No.
I can handle that. That sounds fine. But now I'm stuck having to actually deliver on the promise of what the rest of my life might be. Well, fuck. Okay. All right. If it'll keep my family from having to mourn me, I will go and get a new car with a good safety rating and all the good safety features. And to afford that, I'm going to need to take out a car loan, which I've never done before, and I go in, and I sign the paperwork, and sign the next 6 years of my life away on a car loan, on a however many months. And as I'm riding home in my Uber, for the first time since my near-death experience, I feel this tightness in my chest, and this panicky energy creeping in, because I realize, well, shit, now if I get into a car accident, or now if I lose a job or an income source, the story becomes, well, look at this a-hole who thought he knew better than his business partners and bowed out of this business, thought he could go it alone, but fuck him, he blew it all on a car he couldn't really afford. I am more afraid of being embarrassed than dying in a car crash, because my brain is fucked up, man. And I don't get it. That's my...
Yeah, that's pretty dark, man.
I don't know if that's ha-ha funny.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It sure is absurd, because it's the God's honest truth that is how I feel.
Right.
I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? You'd let us know, because that...
I don't know, Ben. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle not being able to eat ice cream again.
Yeah, that's a rough one. The waterbed story, though.
Yeah, that's hot. That's just dumb college kids getting up to hijinks and nobody got hurt.
Scamps.
Yeah.
You know? Rascals.
I can tell the story about how that same roommate spent a night in jail for taking an axe to his own car. That's a good story.
Oh, wow.
That's and I really wasn't there for that one.
He sounds like a gold mine, this guy. Waterbed guy. You can make the
Did I
end
ever
funnier
meet-
if you change your tone of voice.
Did I meet Walter?
I'm not sure if you ever met Walter.
It sounds really familiar,
Well,
but I don't think I met the
yeah, I
guy.
don't
Right
think you
off
ever
the
met the
bat,
guy.
Walter's a funny name.
Yeah.
We're actually thinking about naming my son Walter at one point. Walt, but yeah, we didn't go with it.
You got the the Stan Lee alliteration in the name.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All his Peter Parker, Bruce Banner. I'll have the
Walt Windorski.
Walter Windorski.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good name.
It rolls
Yeah.
off the tongue.
Yeah,
it really
it
does.
Yeah, you know,
What'd you go with?
Lincoln Windorski,
Okay.
and we get to call him Link for short. So
Okay.
Legend of Zelda.
Got
So,
it.
Yeah.
Ties right in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Silver Arrowbird says you can make the end funnier if you change your tone of voice at the end. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I find it absurd. I don't think I find it ha funny. So like that sort of like pissed off at my own asshole trader brain. That's about as far as I've been able to come with it. I mean maybe you can make that work. Lewis Black built a career off of it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's definitely not like ha ha like you said. It's not
Yeah.
ha ha funny, but I think people could relate. People might be like, "Damn, man, you just blew my mind." Like that sort of thing.
And it's this Sunday.
Yeah, it's
It is
this
this
coming Sunday.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Maybe.
And where's it going to be
I'll
at?
be there
It's
with
gonna
my
be-
camera.
Where is it gonna be? I should probably. I know we've got a Phoenician or two potentially in the audience. Find the email here. Comedy, like the Comedy Spot, I think it's called.
I would be terrified. I don't think I could do it. I just too many eyes on me, and just.
You know I'm gonna
so-
get pics. Did you see the blues dancing pictures?
Yes.
Because those went up on Twitter.
Yes, it is called the Comedy Spot. If we have any Phoenicians in the audience, then yeah, you can come see me.
Come on down. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's true. We didn't really go much into. So yeah, we went dancing on Saturday.
We went dancing.
Yeah. Oh my
It was fun. Ben can dance.
Supposedly I can dance. I was, this was the first time I was actually looking because the other venue that they have
Yeah.
doesn't have that big
Mirror?
wall.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, this was the first time that, because I've been to the same venue once before, but I was like studiously not, I realize in hindsight, studiously not looking at myself. And then
Gotcha.
the instructor instructed us, no, you got to look at yourself.
Yep.
Like, oh shit, do I? Fuck.
Yep.
But okay, yeah, this is not actively embarrassing me as I look at it. Maybe I have learned something.
Right? No, mirrors are good for dancing. I was dancing
Yeah.
for a lot of years. No, you did great. It was super fun. You played it super cool with your first partner. I was like, oh, I didn't know we were dudes dancing with dudes.
Oh yeah,
Partner
it's-
dancing.
It's not a super. It's one of those that people can do, and
Yeah.
if you are not comfortable with it, nobody will judge you for saying no. I don't dance with dudes. I can't say I've seen that actually happen,
I
but
saw that too. That's
Yeah.
other bin.
No, it was good. Will you guys be getting together for a Marvel movie taco night one day? You
So-
know I'm up for it. I want to play Mario with you one of these days.
you know what? I think that can be our next week because we don't
Okay.
have a guest lined up for next
Let's
week.
do it.
So yeah, we can do. We'll start you off on something like normal Mario style, but
Yeah.
I want to put Dry Bones Frosted Tips in your hands before the end and see how you deal with it.
I don't know what that is, and I look
is-
forward to it.
That's the one we were talking about last week, where I found myself doing the calming breathing
Oh,
to get through it, like in
okay.
the ice. Like
It did
super.
sound dirty, I
It does
agree.
sound dirty. Yeah, it's supposed to be frosted tips as in hair.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you
but
say so.
you throw Dry Bones in there, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's the combination.
See, and like in my world, I'm really good at Mario.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who don't play it, they're like, "Wow, you beat all those games," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really good." I'm pretty sure in your world, I'll be like some sort of like deficient, sad sack.
I mean, it's all relative is the thing, because I did finally, after like 7 hours, we figured out, did finally beat that level.
Yeah.
But there are people for whom that is like, oh yeah, okay, you eventually beat it. Fuck you though. Like,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, here's the thing. They don't actually, all of the Mario Maker, like really good Mario Maker people that I've had occasion to watch or interact with, none of them are assholes like that. It's actually a very friendly, welcoming community.
Awesome.
It's just that their skill level is such that they could be a dick like that, and I'd have nothing to say like, yeah, you're right. You are way better at this than I am.
Right.
What? You think I'm gonna whip it out and measure with you? Like
You win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well-dressed Ben on the left, casual Ben on the right.
I'll take it. I'm well-dressed Ben. Right on.
El Thalo wants to know thoughts on Batman: The Brave and the Bold.
I have
much,
not
or-
seen
Okay.
Batman the Brave and the Bold or the animated series. I saw one episode of The Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unknown territory for me. I did watch Justice League and Batman Beyond
Yep.
and Superman the animated series.
Yeah, Brave
And
and the Bold.
Teen
feels-
Titans too. That was
Yeah.
good.
I've seen like an episode, and it's not the Batman that I care about, but there are people who will say, well, that's not the real Batman, and I'm not about that. Like that is a perfectly valid Batman for folks who are looking for a lighter, friendlier, jokier Batman. But the Batman that we watch hits that perfect sweet spot
Yeah.
where it can be fun and entertaining. It's not all gloom and doom, dark and gritty all the
Right.
time, but there is a serious heart to the character, and that's what I want. Like I can hang with a deeper, darker, like Frank Miller, Christopher Nolan, like Batman. I can go for like a gothic stylized Tim Burton Batman. I can enjoy those Batmen. Kevin Conroy Batman is the Batman
Yeah.
of my childhood.
Yeah. Master Blaster Guy, yes, Justice League Unlimited, and yes, Young Justice.
Yeah.
I used to watch, it was on Cartoon Network, and the day of my wedding, I used to watch Green Lantern, the animated series, and Young Justice. And I remember waking up super nervous. I threw up in the shower. And, getting ready. My best man was my cousin, and he was coming over. And I turned on my recordings to watch the Green Lantern and Young Justice, and it was a rerun of some other show at the time. Don't know what it was. But I was like, what the hell? What is this? And then I found out later on that Cartoon Network had got rid of Young Justice and Green Lantern and, didn't even really, they were just, pretend that didn't happen. I was, what the hell, man? So, yeah, I used to love that show. I hear Young Justice is on the DC streaming service, DC Universe.
Yeah, they brought it back for I think a third season. Do
So
I have that right?
I do not have that streaming service. I have 3 of them: Hulu and Amazon Prime and Netflix.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
Of course.
that's a lot of. So, but if it's
Yeah.
good, it seems like you said it was good. So,
Yeah,
well, that's good.
It's starting to get rough now that there are these streaming services that have the one thing that you want. It's like, do I want to pay for another one just for this one show?
Call off the wedding, yes. So nervous that day. Of all the days that I was a raging alcoholic, that was not one of them.
Hey.
Straight and narrow, sober as could be. But yeah, that still threw up. So, but yeah, I'll have to check that out. With all the DC stuff that I like, because I know I'm going to do the Disney Plus thing. I got 2 little kiddos.
Yeah,
They're going
yeah, makes
to,
sense.
Etta just loves everything Disney right now after Disneyland.
Yep.
And I love Marvel. And
Yeah,
then,
so-
so it's,
So your little or your
oh yeah, I got a Green
Green
Lantern.
Lantern lapel pin.
This
there.
is what I wore at my wedding.
Aw.
Yeah, when I work, I have to wear something fun. So I got my Green Lantern.
Yep.
Uh,
You got
ring.
socks. You have fancy.
No, I think they're
socks?
just plain socks today. But I
Do you have
usually do.
some?
Yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
Yeah.
I got Mario
good.
Brothers, Sonic the Hedgehog, and
Socks is a good way to do it.
Zelda. Got some fun socks.
Good for you.
But yeah, Young Justice. That was a good show. Thank you for reminding me, Master Blaster.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one. That was a good show. And the Green Lantern show, it was always, I liked it, but I didn't love it, but I did like it. So when they took that off the air, I was bummed, but I wasn't as upset with the Young Justice. Young Justice, I was like, what the frack, you know?
Yeah, and I never discovered that show until it had already been canceled.
Yeah.
So I think it changes things when you go in knowing, look, this got its 2 seasons. People say it ended on a cliffhanger, on a bad note, didn't
Yeah.
really get an ending, but I know what I'm getting into going in, so just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
So I never had that fan outrage about it that a lot of people had who were following it from day one. And
Yeah,
then-
it ended, even if they had said some kind of note, like we're taking these shows off. But Cartoon Network was just like, well, what are you talking about? Oh, that never existed. It's like, oh, what the? You guys had that show, you know? And then Thundercats, that used to be on Cartoon Network too, the rebooted version.
Oh, yeah.
They got rid of that too, and they just like nothing about it. Just gone.
You know, Thundercats never, even back in the day when I would watch it, of course, because it was on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It never quite clicked for me.
I like that one a lot. I actually liked the newer version better than the 80s version. And I know I'm probably going to get punched in the face for that. I am sorry. But I really liked that new version. But it didn't matter. It didn't last past the 13 or so episodes. So, Any of the DC animated movies? Yes. Love those. Love those. I have not seen The Death of Superman or The Reign of Supermen. But yeah, my favorite is, remember we had a fight about this.
What was it?
I got to go with Under the Red Hood.
Oh, for best Batman movie.
Knife fight?
That's I will defend Mask of the Phantasm to the death.
Mask of the Phantasm is amazing, but Under the Red Hood is my favorite.
I mean, it is very good.
And so is Mask of Phantasm.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right. Just saying, we got to. Well, here's the thing. Under the Red Hood is not in continuity with Batman the Animated Series.
It is true.
So we never have to try
That's
to rank
true.
it on our list.
We'll have to talk about Sub-Zero, though.
That's true. Yeah, we might have to have like a separate. I don't think it really makes sense to rank the movies in with the episodes. That's not a fair comparison.
Yeah. We'll do those.
But we could have like a separate ranking, separate list just for, because there were 4 movies, I think. It was Mask of the Phantasm, Sub-Zero, Mystery of the Batwoman. I want to say there was one more.
Do you count the Batman, Superman?
Yeah, I don't think that really counts because I think that's technically a multi-parter of the Superman show.
If we're missing one, we'll do a little research on it. But yeah.
Is this?
Oh, look at all these people like Under the Red Hood there, Ben. Huh?
Uh-oh.
Suddenly, Fancy Ben is looking on top, right?
Yeah. The Killing Joke was terrible.
Oh yeah. Okay, I might get punched in the face for this. And I just finished V for Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
So much
I like
punching.
Alan Moore, but I was never a fan of The Killing Joke, the comic book or the movie. I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. And I know you were super stoked. We went together.
Yeah.
They had that night screening. It was a Monday night.
Yeah, it was one of those one-night-only Fandango things.
Fathom event.
Fathom event, that's what it was.
It was you, me, Chad, and Marcy, and Sarah, and didn't you bring a buddy?
Probably. You know what? I probably brought Alan.
Okay. Yeah, and then there was maybe 2 other people in the audience.
Yeah.
The rest of the theater complete empty.
Yeah.
And the movie was going on, and it just the movie wasn't very good.
Yeah, well, they tacked on that front half to make it feature length.
And it just...
And that was just kind of bad, but we got to the end of it, and I'm already mentally like, well, okay, pretend that didn't happen. Now we're getting the part from the comic, a story that I know I like. And even then, it lost something in the transition to the screen. I don't know.
It was, So it felt just awkward, the whole scenario. And I, dragged Chad and Marcy, and I was like, this could be fun,
Yeah.
We're gonna see it. And then we all left the theater like, oh, God.
Yeah. Mark Hamill did very well.
Yes. Mark Hamill always does, though.
Yeah.
When have you ever been disappointed with Mark Hamill?
Yeah. So Mark Hamill, I don't know if you know.
I know Mark Hamill.
Okay.
That's
Plays
the
the
one
Joker.
person I recognize.
Okay.
He's the voice of the Joker.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And he is amazing.
Really?
Yeah, he is. People also often talk about who's the best Joker. Do you like Jack Nicholson? Do you like Heath Ledger? Some of the old school Adam West fans will say Cesar Romero. Mark Hamill every time.
And which one is he in?
And he is in the 90s animated version that we grew up with.
Okay.
My son is watching me.
Oh.
Hi, buddy. Hi, Dad. I love you.
How old is he?
He's 8 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Hi, little guy.
Teeny
Hi
tiny.
there. Hi there.
Yeah, so this doing
Okay.
other than work trips, of which this is one, which is why you're up here. This is kind of your way of getting out of the house and when you've got little ones. I mean,
My little ones are big ones.
Yeah.
My littlest little one is 9 now.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
So there is a light.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a means to an end. So, guys, I'm working on it. I'm absorbing information. I'm okay. This is okay. I'm educating myself. It's good.
Yeah.
I gotta listen to the Batrankings.
Whenever I tell my coworkers, because they said, "Oh, do you want to ride up together? We'll carpool. We'll do. I'm doing this thing later. Well, what's your thing? I do this podcast about a cartoon, and just you can see like it's a '90s cartoon about Batman. It's a podcast, and it just like you just see their like interest just fade away. So. They're like, all right, Kenny's doing nerd stuff. Who wants to ride with me? So, but I had to do it.
Well, and that's fair. I did do it to. I think Adrian and I did it to you last week. We were like, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay. It's all right.
Yeah, getting into Swayze
All
talk
right.
up in there.
Yeah. Oh.
What's
Can we
your
talk about Patrick
best
Swayze?
TMT movie? There is only one answer. Well, it's the 1990 live action one.
Yeah.
The one done by Steve Barron. Right?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, there are other.
All right. Yeah, Mess Blaster. All right. I win, dude.
Yeah, like I enjoyed the second one.
I do too.
I enjoyed the 2000 CGI one that came out, despite not knowing anything that was going on, because it turns out it was in continuity with a TV show I never watched.
Yeah, I like the. Oh yeah, that's the one with Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart as the ancient statue guy.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Yeah. So
you know what doesn't hold up is that cartoon, the one that we grew up with. Oh boy, I watched the first miniseries, which I remembered as like, yeah, I got kind of goofy and dumb later, but this is good. And then I went back and watched it as an adult, like, wow, this is the less goofy and dumb one. I
had most of the series, but I did kind of go to Bookman's and trade them in. I kept like 2 volumes worth just to kind of, hey, it's my childhood.
Yeah. Yeah. I recently just picked up just out of, because I've always been I've always been curiosity. Words are hard. I've always been curious to see where it all came from. I've got sitting on my table in the other room. I just picked up the first volume of the original black and white Eastman and Laird run.
Yeah. So. The TMNT Batman one is good. I did buy that. It shouldn't work. It's like 2 things put together, and everything about it it doesn't seem like it should work, but it does, and it's actually kind of entertaining. I was telling my wife it's peanut butter and jelly. You like both, and it's together, and it's amazing. So yeah, the Ninja Turtle Batman thing, surprisingly entertaining. And thank you. Yes, I do have legs for days. Thank you. Oh, they're talking about casual Ben. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Not suit Ben.
So we could sit here all day doing like, have you seen this? Have you seen
right,
that?
Exactly, yeah.
But let's try and
Look, I fit in. I put my glasses on.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm nerding out.
So you have 2 kids.
I have 4.
4 kids.
Yeah.
And the oldest or youngest is 9.
Yes.
Okay.
17, 14, 11, and 9, all girls. I'm a busy lady.
All girls.
All girls.
That's awesome.
It's good. It's a win. I'm lucky.
Yeah, you've
Ben's got no kids.
I have 0 kids.
You've got
I've got 2.
2.
I've got a little girl. Her name is Henrietta, and then I got a son named
that's
Lincoln.
So pretty.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That.
We named her. There was a sci-fi show called Fringe. 2 characters on the show were Etta, and one was called Lincoln.
Yeah.
And that was the show my wife and I, when we were
really
dating,
cute.
so we named him after that. And of course, Legend of Zelda, and there's other things too.
That's
but
a fun story to tell.
so I remember putting that on a comment thing on Facebook, and somebody chimed in. I was like, "Good luck explaining that obscure TV show when your kids are 20." And I'm like, "Hey, shut up!" But it was true. I was like, "Oh, that kind of hurt. That's deep burn there. That's deep burn."
I feel like that's what you want. Is you want something that's a reference that you will get.
Yeah.
But isn't like blazingly obvious to everybody else by the time they grow up.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, so
Right.
you're like from the show, huh?
Yeah.
Like, all the Khaleesi's that are growing up.
There's going to be a
my
lot of that.
God.
And the
Yeah.
Daenerys, you
Boo.
joked about that. Like
Yeah,
20
but-
years from now, there's going to be
Yeah, it's
a lot of them.
Yeah, like Henrietta, Lincoln, those are like real names
Yeah.
that just happen to have come from characters from a fictional thing. But
Yeah.
it's not,
I'm going on record that I had my dragon tattoo before Game of Thrones. Like this
Yeah.
happened before Game of Thrones.
That reminds me of something else. I can't think
I'll
of
be
it though.
sad if someone has my tattoo. They probably
I
do.
thought I've seen it in a movie. Anyway,
Girl with the dragon tattoo? No, hers is on her back.
well,
Anyway.
whatever. Well, what are your rascals' names?
Jane, Paige, Charlie, and Maddie.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, Maddie was almost Matilda, and I wish I had named her Matilda.
There's
Or Lula.
Lula.
I love Lula.
That's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, Matilda's cute too.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Maddie.
I love, well, she was named after my ex-husband's brother who, like, died the year before. So his name was
yeah.
Matt, and his nickname was Maddie, and it just
Okay.
felt right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was one of those things, like a family
Yeah, you're continuing
family
a
name.
tradition.
Yeah, absolutely. But, like, I would have rather named her Lula. I love the, like, Jane. I love the old school.
Yeah. Well, Matilda's pretty old school.
Yep, I like Matilda, too.
I think of the book,
Uh-huh.
you don't see too many Matildas.
No.
Like roll call, 20 years,
Right.
you probably won't have too many Matildas in that classroom. But
Right.
Maddie's cute. That's a good name,
Maddie
too.
works. It works.
And Charlie? Is
And
that for
Charlie.
Charlotte?
It is. Her name's
Okay.
Mary Charlotte. Good Catholic name.
That is a pretty good Catholic
it is
name.
a Catholic name.
And then it was Paige.
Mhm.
That's good.
And Jane.
Jane.
Yeah.
My cousin named Jane. That's
yeah.
good.
Jane's a classic. You can't beat Jane.
No.
Super.
Well, that's cute. That's great.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations
Why,
to you.
thank you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that. I haven't
Yeah.
heard that for a while. It's been a solid decade. Congrats on one of my kids.
Yeah, yeah.
But you at the 8-month-old.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been challenging. The
Yeah.
Disneyland trip going was okay, but
Yeah.
leaving, he threw up in the back seat,
Yeah.
and then there were some temper tantrums.
always
We had to
something.
pull over a few times and
Tired.
stretch the legs out.
Yeah.
Even mommy and daddy needed to like
Sure.
get out of there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's super smiley,
Love
and
it.
he's got one dimple.
Oh.
You ever seen Coco?
Yes.
There's the kid in the show that
Yeah.
has one dimple. It's like that.
That's so cute.
And then Etta, she's a little firecracker. She got a little temper on her, so
Oh, I'm a sassy mama.
she's a little sassy.
Love it.
But she's adorable. But it's funny the yin and yang between the two because
Yeah.
Etta's kind of more, I don't know. She has this kind of, you tell her not to do something, she's going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And when she was a little baby, she'd always just kind of look at you. Whereas Link, like he came out the womb just smiling. He's always, he looks like he's high, like all the time. He just comes out
He's
as,
super
what's
chill.
up, guys? You know,
Second babies are like that. Second babies are like more.
I'm so happy to be out of there. Is Samurai Jack on? This is great.
That's awesome.
Do you have any Cool Ranch Doritos? Oh, so yeah, it's
I love
fun.
that. It is funny. Ben and I talk about kids a lot on here.
Yeah.
And it is funny how kids who grow up in like the identical, the same environment, same parents, and they're just so, their personalities are totally different.
Yeah.
It's really cool though. And Ben has his children. Papa Ben has his children.
Yep. Everybody at home. All my
Dad jokes.
I mean, you had your 4 over here a couple
We
weeks
did.
back for that barbecue.
We did. And a few hours in, we sent him out to the pool. We're like, all right, go swimming.
Yeah.
And then, shh, because it needs to be quiet for just a minute. That happens a lot at home.
Yeah. But I was telling, went down to Bookman's with Brandy, who's here to visit, and unloading some manga, and I think it was Charlie who was looking through my bookshelf,
Right.
and I'm like,
You're like,
watching her like a hawk,
"Oh."
like, okay, let's see if she actually opens any of those books, because if she does, those might go right back on the shelf. I'm glad you. Yeah, I own a lot of Berserk and a lot of Gantz and a lot of things that minors shouldn't be looking at, maybe. But
she loves all the, she's my one with autism, and she loves all the like collections and things like lined up in order.
Oh, okay,
And
right on,
So she's
right
like,
on.
ooh, all the fun stuff out there. Super fun.
Yeah, she was really interested in one of the figures that I've got up there.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
loves figurines too.
Yeah, but
anyway.
she, at one point, you you've asked me in the past, like, why do you want kids?
Yeah.
And at one point, Charlie says, "Hey, watch this," and she like puts her ankle behind her head and moves across the floor and does like whatever gymnastics trick.
Yeah.
And then she moves her way over to me, and I'm standing up, and then out of nowhere, she just like gloms onto my leg, and I'm.
You're like,
This is why.
Aw.
This right here.
Yeah, she's a sweetie. She's a lover. Kids are fun like that. They make you feel important.
Yeah, just like
They give you something to do.
Yeah, little moments like that just like feed something in. I don't like. There are lots of other reasons that I can
Yeah.
point to, and we've talked about. Is there a bad reason? You know, are
Right.
there worthy and unworthy reasons?
Right.
But like, it just comes down to that. You know, just wanting more of that. That is mine. That
little
is
leg
not-
barnacle.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah, I've told the story. You know, my little nephew, because we went to Disneyland over last Thanksgiving, and my sister told me that, you know, she told the kids, like, we're going to Disneyland, and the little shits didn't know. They've never been. They don't know. So they were like, okay, cool.
And
And then they say, and Uncle Ben's gonna be there. Oh my God, Uncle Ben's gonna, oh boy, yeah! Because by that time I'd been in Dallas for 3 years and only visiting on once or twice a year on holidays, and
Yeah.
so they were super stoked.
if you're better than Disneyland,
Yeah, like,
then
holy
you're
crap.
winning. Yeah.
Of course, I don't know. We'll see if they feel the same way now that they've been to Disneyland and know what's up.
Little frame of reference there.
But
I like it.
yeah, that's right. I was waiting outside the It's a Small World because my niece and I just didn't feel like going again. We'd already gone once, and so we were just chilling out, and I did a little phone stream from Disneyland showing
Aw.
everybody, hey, how's it going?
That
yeah.
is adorable.
Yeah.
Love it.
There's probably some rule against that, or else everybody'd be doing it all the time, but yeah, nobody noticed or cared.
Whatever.
I don't know.
Put the phone away. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Is it a good time to mention I'm not a Disneyland fan?
You're not. We might have something to do.
Ooh, honey,
beef
honey,
with
don't, you
Disneyland.
might want to turn it off, Sarah.
I just don't like it. It's so expensive and contrived. And I'm not a movie person, which again, you're gonna lose viewers. Feel like, oh my god, she's trash. Like, I have a hard time watching movies. They don't hold my attention. I don't like I have 4 daughters, and none of them have ever been like a Disney princess lover.
That is,
Just don't get into it.
man, because I know plenty of parents who say, well, I don't want my daughter to get all into Disney princesses.
Yeah.
Having 4 in a row, none of which have gotten,
Nope.
have just gotten into it by osmosis. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That's beating the odds.
Yeah, I just even when Frozen came out, they were. It's like whatever.
I mean, I'm over here like Frozen was fine. It was a fine movie.
Yeah.
I do not understand what the big deal is, but
Yeah, me
It's,
either.
it really is. It's okay, but man,
yeah.
like some
Edda
Pixar.
loves it. Edda's favorite's Tangled, though. Loves
Oh, yeah.
Tangled, and she's really into Beauty and the Beast. And then when I left this morning, she had Little Mermaid on. So, yeah, Disney's.
Yeah.
She's.
Tangled kind of creeped me out because they made a big deal out of the fact that this character is 18. This character that looks about 14 is totally 18. She's 18, so it's okay.
Well,
It's okay, Dad, in the audience. She's 18.
I didn't notice this until Sarah pointed out. Ariel, 16.
Yeah.
I didn't when she brought it up. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
a Facebook post at one point with a screenshot of Ariel's wedding saying, "You ever realize that about 6 to 12 hours after the end of most Disney movies, the protagonist loses her virginity?" Huh.
Do you ever notice in like Disney movies, the mom is always dead?
Yep.
Dead moms. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I don't like Disney.
It's something that I've been thinking about as I work on the children's book adaptation of the
Yeah,
Eloy story.
Well, imagine what the
It's-
implication is there. Like, things go to shit when mom holds it all together, and if mom's gone, that's when you get it.
Or something.
Yeah, there's something to it.
But
But yeah, people are talking about how expensive it is. I can think of 1,000 things I would rather spend my money on
I
than
mean, here's-
$8 churros and standing in line all day. And it's not my jam. Yeah.
I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. I always telling Sarah, I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Why are you
Yeah.
making me go? And then while I'm there, I'm like, oh God, I'm actually
That's all
having fun.
right.
I'm actually having a blast. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, I
get it,
admitted a couple weeks ago, and I didn't bring it up when you said it, and your wife might hate me even more because I've never seen Star Wars.
You're not the only one.
And I'm
There
like,
are a lot
Star
of.
Wars,
I didn't
okay.
notice this till college. Marcy never saw Star Wars.
Yeah.
We have a buddy, Chad, his wife.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of other people that hadn't seen it. It boggled my mind, but I guess they reached. Because I think you watch it if you're a kid, and then if you do, you're Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you miss that stage, you're perfectly fine going on the rest of your life.
I mean-
I've tried if I can get like 15 minutes in. I'm like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm that way with a lot of things that people were way into as kids that for whatever reason I missed the boat, and then you can't go back if you don't have the nostalgia.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I never saw a Never-Ending Story.
Oh, you
I
did?
never- Yeah.
Just see the
oh,
first
I do
one.
like Neverending Story.
I've never seen E.T.
What?
Yeah, that's exactly the reaction that people have.
Goonies?
Never saw Goonies.
What
Yeah.
is happening?
I think a lot of it is because I was living on an American military base in Germany for 4 or 5 of my formative years when most people my age would have been watching those movies. But we only had the one English language theater with one screen, and every week they would get a different movie, and if you didn't catch it that week, well, sorry, there's a new movie out.
Right.
So that's it. You
Yeah.
missed the boat.
Just didn't have access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And stuff didn't come out to home video as quickly or as consistently at the time, and just missed it.
See, I was an only child, so babysitter was TV and VCR.
I
So
think that was the time. Like, my parents would slap me down in front of the TV.
yeah, and so that's why 80s cartoons, even like the terrible ones. Yeah, I remember that one.
But, like,
I
Muppet
remember
Babies.
that.
I was super into Muppet
Oh,
Babies.
Muppet Babies was awesome.
Muppet Babies was the shit.
Fozzie Bear was my hero.
I'm thinking
as a
of
kid.
Fraggle
that
Rock.
guy.
People
Fraggle
would-
Rock was the shit. Yeah.
I remember
would
Muppet
ask
Babies
me-
now. I remember Muppet
Yeah.
Babies now.
People would ask me as a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I would say, I want to be a comedian. And what I was really thinking is, I want to be Fozzie Bear. And I think about it now, like, yeah, he got up on that stage, and people would throw tomatoes at him.
Yeah.
And that bear gave 0 shits.
But that could be
Yeah.
you, Ben.
Exactly.
Awesome. I did love Spaceballs. Same. Spaceballs was great.
Yeah.
It's so good you don't have to have seen Star Wars. Like there's enough cultural reference out there that you get like the idea.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get the
Yeah.
big helmet.
And you get it through osmosis. Like, I'm sure when you went to school, everyone will say a line, and you don't know where that line originated from,
Right.
but you know it, and then you can repeat
Yeah.
it, and then you'll find out.
Or,
blah,
or
blah,
heck,
blah.
if you watched Muppet Babies, then you saw half the movie in
Right,
non
you
sequitur
did.
clips
Yeah.
when they open the closet door.
That's
Right.
right. Oh, I wanted a closet like that. So good. Red was my favorite too. She was big and tall and had amazing hair. Awesome. Predator. I haven't seen Predator.
Haha. Just see the first one. Second one's
Is there
okay.
more than one?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
one of
that got a
those?
million sequels.
Yeah. They just
Gosh.
came out with a new one that came out last year and is awful. It was probably my least favorite movie of last year. So, but yeah, they keep, they keep
Okay.
making them.
I'll add it to the queue.
No, not that one.
Oh, the first one.
First one, yes.
Yeah.
First one, yes.
First
Yeah, and that's another one that I didn't see until way later than most people. And by the time I did, I'm like, yeah, it was a fine movie.
You know
Nothing
what's
wrong with it.
another weird thing? I do Simpsons quotes, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't get it," and I'll say it's from The Simpsons, and they'll say, "Oh, I've never seen The
Noted.
Simpsons."
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah, we're getting
You've
to the point
never
where
s-
lots of people have never seen The
It's
Simpsons.
been on for 30 years, and now I'm not saying watch
Yeah,
all 30
all of it,
years, but
but-
the first 10 years is pretty gold. It's like
Yeah, like 3 through 7 or so. There's some gems in 1 and 2.
maybe it's because we're getting older. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird to me that people haven't seen The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I
well,
wasn't
and-
allowed to watch it.
And it's one of those things now where it was so influential that people who haven't seen it go back and watch it now, and it's like, what? This is just like every show.
That's the
It's like,
thing.
well, yeah,
Right.
because The Simpsons did it.
Yeah.
Pay your respects, assholes.
And at
Yeah.
least the first 10 years, at least
Yeah.
the 10 after that, but the first 10 years,
Yeah.
it's But yeah, all my coworkers, they'll do can't tell you how many lines I've done from Groundskeeper Willie or jokes from Monty Burns, and they'll just be like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean you don't? It's Simpsons, man."
Right? Same. I just last night or the night before sat down with my 17-year-old and we watched a couple episodes of Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Because there's so many references. I was afraid. I haven't seen it in years, and I thought maybe it's one of those things. It was like really
you can't
groundbreaking
go
at the
back,
time. And I'm like, no, it's still really good.
Yeah, I find that the only thing that gets me when I go back is that, I mean, it was what shows did at the time, but the laugh track bugs me.
Oh, yes. Well, we also watched Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Solid show. B. Arthur is the shit.
And see, so nowadays it's cool for everybody to say, well, I never saw The Simpsons or Seinfeld, but for whatever reason, Golden Girls is like people who have
socks.
no business having watched Golden Girls.
Walmart has T-shirts in the men's aisle. It's weird how that kind of
It's
become
weird.
a
And
new...
I bet most of those people haven't actually watched an episode.
Yeah.
It's probably like ironically.
Yeah, like we like Betty White.
Yeah. If you're gonna wear the T-shirt, you have to watch the show.
Yeah, and
That's our rule.
I am sure it's a fine show, but at the time, it was just something my grandma liked to watch.
Yeah.
And I have no particular desire to go back to it now. I'm sure it's
funny.
I'm sure it was perfectly good at the time. I'm sure it's still perfectly good now.
There are a lot of Golden Girls watch, more than I expected.
Yeah.
It's popping up here. And I appreciate it. It's a good show. Yeah, I was genuinely surprised at how entertained I was. How about My So-Called Life? You guys are dudes. You didn't watch My So-Called
Nope.
Life.
I remember it being around. Never sat down and
Well, it
watched
didn't
That was
last
my
long. It only lasted a
jam.
season.
It was like a season and a half. No,
Yeah.
maybe just one full. I don't remember. It was fantastic.
It got a lot of acclaim, but it was one of those shows that you knew of, but I don't think anybody really watched it until it came out,
Oh, gosh.
years later on VHS or whatever. Then it got
Yeah.
kind of this pulp.
Like a cult following.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was my life. So good.
I feel like we've reached the point in the program where we're just kind of
What other movies have you seen?
which, granted, that does tend to be Kenny's and my conversations in general,
Yeah.
which is why we finally focused it down to just one thing so that we could retain an audience potentially.
Yeah, we don't do anything like that. We just
Yeah. And so as far as it brings
Have
up,
you guys seen
yeah, tried to steer away from have you seen X and then go right back to it. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask if you're gonna come work out tonight, but you're not.
Oh, that's right. We were gonna.
Yeah, I was
forgot all about
last
that.
week. I was driving away. I was like,
Crap.
that's okay. Come next week.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Yeah, we're gonna.
You gonna go to Flag? Are you going to Flag tonight?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if we have, because are you driving home tonight, Kenny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So depending on how the time looks and what we feel like doing, we might knock out a Batrankings episode or two before.
Okay.
We,
Ooh, do
Yeah.
that.
so before we turn it off, I'm just gonna check real quick. Just gonna see if we've gotten any.
I hope everyone saw the pictures of you dancing. I still haven't gotten over this. Nobody appreciates it for what it is. We had a guest this week, so I don't want to harp on Ben dancing, but it was super fun.
It's something new since next week.
It
so
was
it's fun.
super fun. It
Yeah,
was good.
I had a lot of fun, and in fact, I am sad that when Brandy Esparza said, "Hey, I'm taking a week. I'm going to come visit." If I'd been thinking, I should have said, "Oh, make it Monday to Monday or
Yep.
Wednesday to Wednesday, so you can come dancing with me."
Yep.
Instead, it's Tuesday to Tuesday, and that's the night that they have the dances down in Tucson.
Yep.
So
Darn
I can't
it.
take her dancing, and I would have loved to have. I was just saying when we were there, I would love to actually bring a dance partner to one of these.
Yeah.
Because you swap partners. you
Partner swap.
She's laughing from the other room. But you do. Everybody dances with everybody. But I've said this too, and people always laugh like it's a joke. I've never turned down somebody who's asked me to dance, and I've never turned down any. And I've never been turned down when I've asked somebody else to dance.
Ever.
It's a
Okay,
very-
we can cross-check this because he says this stands in high school too. Like he never.
I mean, to be fair,
You didn't really.
Never
no, you
been
did go
rejected.
to freshman year. We went to a dance.
yeah, I went to 2 dances, one in middle school and one in high school. I plucked up the courage to ask one girl to dance.
That's
in high
right.
school.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's right. And then in middle school, one girl asked me to dance, and I said yes. So once per dance.
Okay.
that happened, and otherwise I was a total wallflower.
Wow.
But you
but-
didn't get rejected.
Yeah.
That
So
stands.
there you go. Still a perfect
True
track
story.
record. But
Yeah, that was really fun.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. But it would be nice to have, a person to go back to, a home base,
Right.
Like that was definitely you and Tom, because you took Tom.
I did. Yeah, we went down and we had dinner. You and my 17-year-old
Yeah.
and Tom and me. So we made a thing. But yes, like when they were like, okay, find a like after the lessons
Yeah.
where we switched, they're like, okay, partner of your choice, and then
Yeah, you stuck pretty
Yeah.
close to each other after that. And
Yeah.
there are lots that is not, considered impolite or out of the ordinary.
I'm glad because I was wondering. I'm like, we didn't dance with anybody else.
Yeah, no, there are plenty of people I've seen who will, they'll during the lesson portion when, it's not strictly required, you could still say, no, I don't.
Right.
Like you said, anybody can say I don't dance with dudes, and nobody seems to
Right.
take offense at that.
Right.
But yeah, you dance with everybody then, but there are plenty of people who, like, there was another couple there that came as a couple, and I danced with the female half
Yeah.
of that couple once, and she was real good. She had not danced yet. She skipped the lesson portion, so I didn't realize how damn good she was.
Yeah.
I just saw her walk in the door and was still feeling like outgoing and go, go, go. And who's calling me? Shut the fuck up.
Who is calling you?
Colorado? I don't know anybody in Colorado. You can leave a message. But
Yeah, she was good.
yeah, she was real good, and she taught me a few things. Like, good.
Nice.
That's like, I told her, look, everybody here is better at this than I am. So my goal is just to learn something from everybody I dance with.
And
So that's
she
great.
taught you something.
And she did. She taught me a lot.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's
like
great.
got me like, because she was, I was ostensibly the lead, but she realized that I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and so she showed me, no, this is how you lead, and she,
Yeah.
like spun me around. I'm like, oh, okay, I sort of get, like, there's some, I don't know, force feels like the wrong word because,
Yeah.
it's all about consent and, not making people uncomfortable. But, yeah, just like, spin them around.
Right.
Yeah, give them some oomph.
Yeah. Don't fight it. Just go for it.
Yeah, and I, like, the rest of the night, I was, doing that a little more. And, like, oh, okay, now it's not force, it's just communicating clearly that I want him to do something. And I'm not, like, pussyfooting half-assing it and making him guess, what is he trying to do here?
Yeah. Don't
So,
be tentative. You got to commit.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it was real good.
It was really fun. Nobody asked Tom or I to dance after.
Yeah, I think
don't think-
people... I think people also kind of recognize, people who've gone to a few of these recognize, like, yeah, they're here to dance together. It's fine. Like, if two people are dancing together, you don't often get a lot of, like, can I cut in?
Right.
This, it's not an 80s romantic comedy where
Right.
the bully has to show up and, do bully things so that the protagonist can overcome him at the end.
Indeed.
My wife just
rated
liked
the
our
podcast.
podcast.
Okay. So we're at
Two
19
more.
now. Yeah.
Yay!
Just need 2 more, and we'll do Hammerman.
Oh, it's
Two
fun.
more.
Yeah, it is.
And it's hammer time.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't instantly update because it's still reading as 18, so we might not know, but
Give
that's
it a
okay.
minute.
We'll give it a yeah.
Well, it's been 20 minutes since we said we were going off. So
Yeah. So it's probably time, but guys, thank you for tuning in for another Bentime Stories.
absolutely. Mario next week.
Mario next week. We'll play some Mario.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it'll be good.
It's gonna be good. Thanks
be
for
like-
coming, Ken.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you. It was nice to meet
Yeah,
you.
you too.
Yeah, this is nice.
I'll be
Yeah.
sure to listen to the podcast.
Yeah, just it's just kind of our low pressure, just chat about whatever's going on.
Yes, you can get the podcast without Apple, right? Tell them what
Yes,
the...
you can absolutely get the podcast without Apple if you go to anchor.fm/Batrankings. Yep, the link is right
There it
there
is.
in the chat. You can click on it. That has links to every different podcatcher, like podcast aggregator service that it's listed on. But even if it's not listed, there's also an RSS link that you can just copy and paste into whatever app you like to use. So yeah, it's available to everybody.
Do it.
We just say Apple because that is the most popular podcasting thing. It's not what I use because fuck Apple, but but also don't fuck Apple because that's
my
where most of
God.
our listenership comes from.
So what are you doing, man? They can hear us. Nothing's just everything's fine. You're fine.
Also, Ben, I found the thing we disagree on.
Oh,
I'm an Apple
You're an Apple person.
person, and you're not.
I am
The
too.
thing. I will
Team
say
Apple.
this.
Sorry, bro.
I am glad Apple exists because they come out with things like the iPad that nobody had like made. It's not that iPad-like things hadn't existed before, but they weren't commercially viable really before.
Right.
And they come out and they do whatever alchemy it is that they do that make people realize it's a good idea, and
Yeah.
then it'll start selling. And then a year later, somebody will come out with something that's better for half the price, and I'll buy that.
There you go.
And if saps like you weren't out there subsidizing and paying the Apple tax, I would never get the cheaper,
I'm just
better
doing my
version.
part to help.
So
I agree.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Respect. We're taking one for the team.
I did a good job.
Yeah, and then Android makes it better. Exactly. All right, guys. We will see you next week. I will see you. It's not on the schedule thing, but there's a new Hitman Escalation out tomorrow, so I'm probably going to do that. Kenny, anything you want to plug before we go?
I've got my YouTube channel, Wisky TV, and it's Facebook, Instagram, and that's all I got.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything you want to plug?
I'm a writer. I write stuff. You guys-
Medium.
Medium. AJK. Find me.
AJK on
Yeah, I haven't
Medium.
written in a while.
If you need a chair,
Yeah, it does work for lazy.
If you need some content marketing, give me a call.
Yeah.
That's my day job.
I should pick your brain about that because I'm realizing I'm real bad at marketing.
Well, let's have a chat.
All right.
Schedule
All right,
a
guys.
meeting.
See you next week.
Bye.
Serve it,